Alcohol is the only substance we openly celebrate while it quietly dismantles our bodies, our minds, and our society. Every year, it claims more lives than wars, terrorism, homicides, and car accidents combined. And yet, we raise our glasses without a second thought. Weddings, birthdays, holidays, after-work drinks, it's woven into almost every social moment. But behind the clinking glasses and warm laughs hides a truth far darker than most people ever hear. Because alcohol isn't just a health hazard, it's a perfect predator. And its story starts long before humanity ever took a sip. Alcohol kills over 3 million people worldwide every single year. That's not counting the tens of millions it injures through accidents, violence, and disease, or the hundreds of millions quietly living with the long-term damage it causes. And here's the paradox. We cherish it. We pop champagne for victories, pour wine for romance, share beers for friendship. It's the poison we toast to, the very thing we defend when challenged. But why are we so loyal to a substance that has done us so much harm? The answer takes us back to something tiny, something alive, something that evolved alcohol as a weapon. Millions of years before humans ever discovered fermentation, single-celled organisms called yeast were fighting their own battles. Their weapon, alcohol, when yeast consumes sugar, it produces ethanol, toxic to many other microbes. By flooding its environment with alcohol, yeast kills the competition and claims the territory. Fast forward to your first sip. That liquid is now a carefully crafted mixture, ethanol diluted with water, flavored with fruits, grains, or caramel. But the core is still the same ancient poison. Within seconds, sextillions of alcohol molecules enter your stomach and small intestine, racing into your bloodstream. Your liver, the body's detox center, gets to work. But it can only process about 1 sip of beer every 5 minutes. Drink faster than that, and alcohol surges past the liver's defenses, flooding your brain. That's where the sabotage begins. Alcohol interferes with neurotransmitters, numbing neurons and slowing communication. Your decision-making center weakens, your self-control loosens. You might feel relaxed, confident, maybe even invincible, but this is just the first act, because the real damage happens when these occasional moments turn into a habit. Alcohol is both water and fat-soluble, which means it can infiltrate almost every cell in your body. As your body breaks it down, it turns into acetaldehyde, a chemical even more toxic than alcohol itself. This compound attacks your cells, damages DNA, and accelerates aging from the inside out. In the brain, heavy drinking can shrink neurons and sever connections, slowing your thinking, eroding your memory, and raising your risk of dementia. The younger you start, the worse the impact because your brain isn't fully developed until your mid-20s. Then there's cancer. Even 1 drink a day raises the risk of mouth, throat, liver, breast, and bowel cancers. Globally, alcohol is responsible for nearly 750,000 new cancer cases each year. And the liver, alcohol's frontline casualty. Fat begins to accumulate even without symptoms. Over time, inflammation sets in, then scarring. Once cirrhosis develops, the damage is often irreversible. Every year, 600,000 people die from liver failure caused by alcohol. And it doesn't stop there. Drinking weakens the heart, raises blood pressure, and makes strokes more likely. It accelerates skin aging and drives weight gain, not only because of the calories in the drink, but because alcohol ramps up your appetite. Health experts agree problems can start at as little as 1 beer a day. For men, serious risk spikes around 3 daily drinks. For women, less than 2. Yet in much of the world, especially in the West, this is considered normal. But alcohol's destruction doesn't end with the drinker. Alcohol is one of the few drugs that harms others as much, or more, than it harms the user. Drunk driving alone kills 300,000 people a year, and half of them weren't drinking at all. They were just in the wrong place at the wrong time. Alcohol fuels violence, from street fights to domestic abuse. Around half of all violent crimes and sexual assaults worldwide are committed by people who were drunk. That is the equivalent of an entire city's population being wiped out by alcohol-fueled violence every year. And the most tragic victims are the ones who never chose to drink. 600,000 babies are born each year with fetal alcohol spectrum disorders, facing lifelong challenges because alcohol passed from mother to child before birth. The scale is staggering, and yet millions of people drink daily without ever seeing themselves as part of the problem. Which brings us to alcohol's most dangerous illusion. When you picture an alcoholic, you might imagine a homeless man with a bottle in a paper bag, or someone who can't go a single day without being drunk. But half of all people with alcohol use disorder don't fit that image. They're high functioning, they have jobs, families, friends. They don't cause public scenes, they keep it hidden, sometimes even from themselves. For beers after work, a bottle of wine at dinner. A weekend bender every month, they meet every obligation, but their bodies are quietly paying the price. No one questions a drink at a party or a glass of wine at dinner. And that's exactly why alcohol is so dangerous. It hides in plain sight. But our relationship with alcohol isn't just physical. It's deeply emotional, a bond thousands of years in the making. Humans are social creatures, but socializing is messy. We overthink, we get nervous. We worry about being judged. Alcohol smooths that over. Just enough inhibition slips away to make talking easier, laughing freer, and bonding faster. Studies confirm it. Moderate social drinking increases trust, helps strangers connect, and strengthens relationships. In a way, alcohol has been humanity's social crutch. For thousands of years, we've been trading years of our lives for a few hours of connection. But things are changing. Younger generations, especially Gen Z, are drinking far less than their parents. In the US, the number of 18-year-olds who've tried alcohol has dropped by 25% in the past few decades. Binge drinking among teenagers has fallen by half. Even in traditional drinking cultures like France and Germany, alcohol consumption is declining. This is a victory in many ways. Fewer drunk driving deaths, fewer hospitalizations, fewer broken lives. But there's a flip side. Face-to-face interactions among young people have dropped sharply. Fewer parties, less dating, more loneliness. Part of it is social media. Part of it is lifestyle changes. The truth is, alcohol has been a flawed but powerful social glue. If it's fading from culture, we need to ask, what replaces it? For thousands of years, alcohol has been both our companion and our enemy, a tool for connection and a destroyer of lives. If we're moving toward a world with less of it, the challenge isn't just avoiding the harm, it's finding new, healthier ways to connect, celebrate, and feel alive together. Because alcohol's greatest trick was never just the buzz. It was convincing us that we couldn't truly bond without it. Maybe the real challenge isn't quitting drinking, it's proving it was never the only way.